What's up, everybody? Tyler Brown here with FutureDDS.
Terrell Friday here with FutureDDS.
And today we're going to talk to you all about specializing after dental school.
Yep, let's go. If this is your first time to the channel, Tyler and I, we put out these videos to help pre-dents get into school as well as show a little bit of our experience going through dental school. So if you haven't already, make sure you pause the video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell as well as the subscribe button so you know whenever we put up new videos.
Alright, so now that we started our D2 year, it's interesting because a lot of our classmates are really starting to talk about specializing more and more, They're doing a lot more and they really do have to, in order to specialize, you have to be the best of the best, so.
Yeah, you definitely have to be doing the most, Like definitely doing a lot more on some research, top of the class, meet with your professors, whatever you do, starting a club, like everything that you can do to get that leg up. Because when you think about it, like this is like the NFL school, this is like the league, NBA of school. So if you want to be in the top tier of that, you have to make sure you're excelling against, amongst your peers. So.
Right. And it's best to make that decision early because it's really going to affect how you go about your entire dental school career,
Very true.
Because like Terrell said, you have to be at the top of your class. You have to be. And so if you know that coming out of the gate, you're going to commit 80% of your time to actually studying to get those grades so that you can be competitive.
Speaking directly on what the specialties are, there's 9 specialties total. So the first one would be like public health, the dental public health. That's kind of how you deal with the community and how you steer the overall health, oral health of the community that you're living in. So, making sure people are going to the dentist more often, if you want to attack more preventative things like that.
I didn't even know that was a specialty.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
It's good, which is cool.
I know, I thought it was more so just public health, but it's actually a specialty. Next would be endodontics, which is the preservation of the natural tooth. So you want to do more things that, like I said, preserve the natural tooth of the patient, whether it's root canals, post and core, stuff like that. So it's just like, you want to retain as much natural tooth structure as possible, and that's what they preach to us at school as well. Next would be a lot of oral maxillofacial things. So there's oral maxillofacial pathology, which is really determining or just looking at and studying the diseases that manifest in the mouth or in the oral cavity in the facial area. That's not necessarily as clinically based, and that you may not deal with patients as often, or you might have to deal with more specialty cases more often, but it's still a very important field of study in dentistry, you know what I mean? Next would be radiology, so oral maxillofacial radiology, which has a lot to do with radiographs and bone morphology, stuff like that, where you have to determine and really specialize in being able to tell radiolucency versus radiopaque, stuff like that. And really, I guess it's more along the lines of pathology, but it's another specialty along that lines. And then oral maxillofacial surgery, that's a lot of times what people hear about, dental surgeons. And that's really like a bulk of what I know my friends and a lot of other people are talking about getting into. OMFS is like reconstruction of face. Somebody gets into a car accident and somebody breaks their jaw, anything along those lines where it's a very drastic or a very severe case. That's usually what OMFS does. Even severe extractions, OMFS, they take care of that. So doing all that stuff, of course it does entail a lot more preparation. You have to go to dental school and a lot of times medical school as well in order to be prepared for those extreme cases along those lines. But OMFS is definitely one of the more popular ones that I hear about.
And so then there's also ortho. Ortho, so fixing the teeth alignment. So whenever I think of ortho, I think of braces. So then there's also periodontics. That's really focusing on the gums. And so when you think of perio, kind of think of implants. I don't know if you all heard of implants. I'm sure you all have. It's like the new version of veneers. Everybody's doing them, but it's funny that a general dentist can actually do implants as well. So there's no really limitation, but
general dentists can do everything.
They can do everything, but they have to actually be at
certified,
the standard.
Right?
It's like the specialty standard.
Gotta get certified.
Exactly. So there's a lot going into that, and that actually kind of spurs some people's career interest as well. If they're like, hey, if I can be a general and still do XXX, I want to be a general. So like we said, a lot of different things help decide if you want to specialize or not. Then peds is another major hitter that a lot of people want to get involved in. If you like children, this is where you need to go. Actually, the peds office is actually across from our sim clinic or our pre-clinic, so we're always seeing kids running up and down the hallway. But I mean, I think that one, if you do like to work with children, two, if you understand that this is their first encounter with oral health or oral health education, like you have a huge task in front of you, and a lot of people like that. So a lot of people want to go into peds. And then there's a prosthodontist. Prosthodontists really work with removable appliances within the oral cavity. So we're talking, dentures, we're talking bridges, things like that. Hardest class of the year for us. So that's another.
It's like fabrications, because like you do removable or fix.
You can do a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You can do a lot.
That's a whole world.
It's
really.
a whole world, and it's very, very. I mean, everything in dentistry is about details, but pros is very, very detail oriented. But like we said, we've listed all of the specialties for you all, and as you can see, there's a lot that you can get involved in. It really all depends on who you are as a person and what you want to do with your dental career.
It's really funny, like how taboo of a question it is. Like if you go around here asking people, like what specialty they want to get into, or like, oh, okay, they over here, like people are like so secretive when they're talking about what specialty they want to do, as if like. I mean, I don't really care.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Jimmy do not care.
I don't know. Yeah, like it's just funny. Like I don't know. People think people are just out to sabotage them just to get them out the way. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't understand it. But I mean, it's just funny to see that little dynamic. I guess people. I mean, it's like I said, it's competitive. So maybe people are like, oh, this person's getting an A out of the class. Like I'm gunning for that spot. Like I gotta get an A too. Like I mean, I guess it has its place, but for the most part. I don't really think it's that deep. Maybe that's just because I'm not as focused on specializing myself. I want to go into general practice myself and get certified to do a lot more procedures. I think that vastness and being able to be a well-rounded dentist, not saying that people that specialize aren't well-rounded, but having the ability to deal with it.
What did our teacher say? Our teacher was like, when you specialize, you go to school more to do less.
Yeah, to do way less. So, I mean, I've always thought about maybe orthodontics or maybe prosthodontics, but and maybe we'll scope my practice to be in that direction or do more of those type of procedures. But at the end of the day, being a general practitioner, being able to do a wide array of procedures and having a wide array of different type of patients, I think that would be more beneficial for myself and something that I would enjoy a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more entertaining. Yeah. Also, just having fun with your job. I mean, I don't really know what I really want to do yet, and this year, or is it next year, we do rotations.
Right, yeah, next year.
Next year? Yeah. So next year we do rotations, so we'll actually be able to kind of get a sample of each specialty.
Yeah.
But all we can do right now, keep our grades up.
That's it.
and
get through.
And just get through it, just stay positive, and I think that we're both on that right tracks. Alright, you all, so that's the end of the video. If you all have any other questions, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If it's a little bit more personal, go ahead and shoot us a DM on Instagram at _FutureDDS. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you all have. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the like button.
Pause right now.
Like button, like. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know whenever we post new content. Alright, but that's it.
Alright, y'all.
Alright, y'all.
See you next week.